Yeah. Hello, hi. It's
Hi.
us again.
Yeah.
We have a special guest with us today.
Yes, we do. Miss Margot Christophilus.
She is part of our amazing office here at Keller Williams Greater Seattle. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my
I
gosh,
really
yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
You
Margot
two ladies.
has much more experience
A
than
wealth of
we
knowledge.
do. Yes.
Yes.
And today we are covering what it's like to buy and sell in a soft market. So we're just going to pick her brain on best strategies and what this means for us in the Seattle market.
So let's start off saying what exactly is a soft market? How would you define a soft market in real estate?
A soft market is when listings are sitting longer than they should.
Yeah.
And you're,
Well, explain that to me longer. Let's put a date range on that.
Yeah, what's longer? Because we have a skewed version of that, I feel like, now in
Yeah.
our market.
Yeah.
People see 2 weeks and they're like, oh,
I
no,
mean,
2 weeks, you know.
people used to see 2 days and they would go, what's wrong with this house? Now we're looking at 45 days up to 70 days.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the time frame, like if it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then we're looking at making adjustments with our seller. Just let me know. I've got stories for days. I don't want to keep it, where you guys aren't getting tired. But I had to take one off a week and a half ago because it was a beautiful home. It had all the fixins. What happened was, seller decided that the home in this market was worth more than it was. And the issue was that within a month's time, before and after, 6 other homes very similar to theirs in the same neighborhood came on the market. So soft in the respect that people have choices, where in a fast market, a hot market, you don't have time to think. It's like, do I want to put an offer on this house or not?
Well, I think I was doing a little bit of research, and what we have seen here in the Pacific Northwest is a seller's market where sellers could say they could literally pick their price point. Honestly, my neighbor sold his house, and I want more than that.
Right.
And now that we have more inventory, but not as many buyers, sellers have to get a little bit more competitive, and so it's like, either you have the cutest house on the block or you have the cheapest house on the block. And those are some of the 2 ways that you can attract buyers when there's more inventory
Right.
to choose from.
Well, you tend to get creative, and then you tend to include your lender on that. There's lots of ways. We have a wonderful gentleman in our office, Kyle, and they'll give some kind of point system or do 1-year buy down, and I will have to speak to him, but he's doing some form of a credit to bring incentive to buyers to get the seller's home sold. The most important thing is to price it right.
Right. I think that's the difference, though. You
Yeah.
have to really look at what else is available on the market, because if everybody else is 50 grand below you, then you are not in competition with anybody.
And that's what happened on the home that we took off 2 weeks ago. We'll put it on probably during the holidays, when if you had asked me 5 years ago, I'd say, no, let's not put it on in the holidays. Let's do it in spring. And now we're thinking, let's put it on in, the end of November or beginning of December and take another swing at it when there aren't 6 others following you.
Right.
And then also think about the price.
Yeah.
What's realistic?
Yeah,
Right.
the market will tell you what your home is worth,
That's right.
day in and day out.
They really will. The market speaks, the buyers speak.
Yeah.
And, right now there's a little fear. We won't get political, but there's things going on that are telling buyers, wait, hold, let's think about this. And then the more homes they see, think about it, they start thinking, what's wrong with these houses?
Yes, instead
What?
of thinking like, oh, look at the
Yes.
opportunity. I have
Right.
so many things to choose from. I can make decisions. I can compare and contrast. It's what's wrong with this house. That's what I hear all the time. What's wrong with this house? Hasn't sold in 30 days.
Or, they're
But we've been
concerned.
conditioned in a way to see things go quickly. So I think that there has to be a re-education to both the sellers and the buyers that we have entered into a new market. And all signs point to it softening even more before we start to see
Yeah.
things change. So I think that's part of the reason why we wanted to sit down and talk about it today, because I don't think this is something that we've really seen. We've seen some fluctuations. Of course, like it was a struggle when we saw the interest rates keep jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. But everybody thought that 2025 was the year. All the agents told their sellers 2025 is the year, and now they're all out there just waiting to be picked.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I live with a lender, so I hear too many stories. And the houses that are meticulous and in areas where I have to get my child in this school district, my sibling lives 2 doors down, they're going to still go.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
with multiple offers
Right.
that we've even seen. There's these pocket areas
Yes.
where something's done really well, but it's also priced well. Because when it's priced well, then you're collecting everybody in that price range, and all they've seen is junk, and then this one like golden egg
golden
comes
egg.
out, and
Mhm.
now you have a bunch of competition. I've had that too in this soft market.
Yeah, of course.
We don't control the market,
No.
and then that's, I think that a lot of people get frustrated with our evaluations of things. It's not that your home is less valuable than it was before. It's just that there's more product available, and it's supply and demand. So it's either feast or famine. And right now, it's a bit of a feast for the buyers because they have so many more homes to choose from. I would say that the folks who are waiting at that higher price point, I think those are the people who are testing the waters to see if they really want to sell, but they're not ready to sell yet.
Mhm.
Because if they were ready, then it would come down to how do I get it sold as quickly as possible.
I mean, there's different scenarios though.
I know, and there are some people that need to stay because
Yeah.
it's a financial decision that they
Right.
need to get back out.
It makes it hard for everyone though, including the agent, because you need a number because you're going away. You're not buying here. You're going away.
Mm-hmm.
You need a number. It's not realistic. You didn't choose a realistic number when your agent listed it. So you're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting. Now you're frustrated and now you're staying this year
Right.
because you wanted what you wanted and you're making it impossible for somebody to get that for
Right.
you.
You're not even in competition. So I think that sometimes when something is too hard, the universe is telling you that you're not ready. And that's kind of what I tell my clients is I don't think you're actually ready to sell. And that's okay. We tested it, we tried it. But
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like, and if you are ready, the next thing you have to do is cut the price, or you need to do something that makes it much more spectacular than everybody else who's selling in this price range.
And the golden ticket is your agent who's going to come over and do that with you, whether it's marketing, whether it's the price, whether it's painting. The professional is going to come in and help you with that. So please listen. It's what we do every day. Nobody's trying to hurt people's feelings. Everyone's house is
Yeah,
special.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
we now put our buyer hat on, is what I tell my sellers.
Right.
What would you
Right.
be looking at if you were walking through here and you were going to put a down payment on this house?
Yep.
And if you've lived in your home for multiple years, Keller Williams has a concierge program,
Mhm.
which would allow you to do fixes to the home to make it look the best.
Right?
Yeah.
And it is available to KW agents. We can have that discussion. It's literally a contract that you'll have with the vendors that you choose. And we walk you through everything and you pay at closing. And now this is for people that are a little bit tight on funds. You don't have to use it, but you don't have to be backed into a corner either. There's opportunities to get your home prepared and sold.
Totally.
Yeah. So we touched on what is sort of contributing to this current market being a little bit softened, and we touched on interest rates still being high, economic uncertainty, affordability challenges with the combination of layoffs, homes still being high, interest rates high, all of that. But it's not unusual for us to have a little bit of a slowdown during the summer. We see this every year. We have a very seasonal time of selling where we live in the Pacific Northwest. So that's not unusual for our time. We just have a lot of other contributing factors that have sort of domino effect to keep those listings that, may have been hot in the spring. Some of those are just still on.
Yeah, I think that whenever you go through a massive transition like this, it's going to take time. I don't think that people change their ideologies like with a snap. And the reason why they decided to move was because in their mind they have these preconceived notions of how it's going to go. When it doesn't go that way,
Yeah.
and we have to kind of redirect, that can be challenging. It takes people a little while.
It does.
I always like to remind my sellers, though, it sucks on this end, but it's going to be amazing on the other end.
Absolutely. And
Once
that
you're
is,
out and you've got this cash, like everything's on sale.
That's right. And there is a win and a rainbow at the end of all of this.
Totally.
It just might be a little painful. And again, guys, most people that aren't fire selling their home, they've got equity in it. They just got a number stuck in their head.
Absolutely.
And that number is only as good as who wants to pay that number.
Yes.
And that it's not up to us.
It's imaginary. It's monopoly money
Yeah.
at the end of the day. But you get that. You're going to get that windfall on the second half.
That's right.
So
That's good.
it's all about perspective and changing your thinking. It sucks in the moment, but then you have this opportunity where most people aren't actually looking right now because they're focused on what's going on globally rather than what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the summertime also brings in this flood of tourists, right?
Yeah.
And that in 2026 we'll have the FIFA World Cup.
Yep.
I think that that's really going to increase our population growth because people are going to see Seattle for the first time.
In the best time of year.
Right.
They are.
Totally.
It's like our shining
Amazing.
glory.
Well, and that's when most people come visit here and they're like, God, the ocean and the mountains, I can do the rain.
But the thing is, I mean, I'm not trying to sell Seattle. There's a lot of beautiful areas in the country. But we do have mild seasons.
Totally.
And we
Less
can
climate problems.
smell the ocean
Yeah.
from many places. So yeah, there's some benefit. And I know sometimes when people come in the fall, they're like, oh, it's raining. But then when people from Britain and other places come, they're like, this is just like home.
Yeah.
So they, they're good with it.
And some of the cheapest oceanfront properties you will find in the U.S. Like you go down to California, that same property is 2-3 times the amount.
Absolutely.
We've touched a lot on how a soft market kind of affects sellers and the sellers that we're working with and getting our sellers to have the perspective and correct sort of expectations of what they can see when listing. But can be a really great time for our buyers in this market as well. And there's a couple of things our buyers could potentially expect in a market like this. You might see some lower purchase prices happen, whether that's from the seller reducing their price or you just have found an opportunity to maybe offer slightly lower. There's seller paid closing costs or concessions that you can work into negotiations. A seller might be more willing to give you that in your offer because they've got a bird in hand. They have an offer in their hand. They don't want to let you go.
And they've sat on the market for 30 to 45 days, and they've had a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah.
Think about
Yes, they
whether or not they're ready.
Right.
Yeah.
And the repairs is a big one. And I always tell people, in half the instances, it used to be like 80%, but the sellers are doing pre-inspections. And so that's very helpful to the buyers. But if they don't, it's also a benefit because it's a tool.
Right.
It's a tool to getting some credits.
Yeah,
Totally.
getting credits or asking for some of the work to be done before closing.
That's
So
right.
it's off the buyer's plate. So there's a lot of opportunity if you're a buyer, not only just more inventory to look at, which is a bonus because, a year ago you could look at 1, 2, 3 properties and feel like you had to put in an offer right then. Now you can sort of compare and contrast. You could get things like rate buy down. So if that seller is giving you a concession, you could temporarily buy down your rate and make your interest rate lower. That's an opportunity that we're seeing, especially in this market.
It's wonderful because it does bring your rate down to affordability. And within the second or third year, you can refinance.
How many of your friends, family members, clients, past clients have said, I could never move, Margot. I'm in a below 3% mortgage.
People say
I'm
that.
raising my hand.
Every single day, people tell me that.
I say
they're
this.
They're locked in forever.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, when you're in a soft market and you have the ability to get the seller to pay for some concessions, you might be able to drop that rate down. So it's not realistic for you to be looking on Redfin or going to Freddie Mac because there are ways in which we as agents can really help make this much more affordable.
Well, and the thing is, it's great that you have a low interest rate but at some point, have you outgrown it? Do you love where you live? Like some of us who want water, are you wanting to go to the water or to the mountains, or, you know, have horses on your property? Don't let it hold you back. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can always make it work.
Well, I think people get, in the same sense that people get locked into what they believe their home is worth, they also get locked into this notion that they can't move unless interest rates do a specific thing. And I think what a soft market allows for is a lot more flexibility than what our buyers and sellers are used to with that hot seller's market. And again, it's just going to take a lot of education.
And we are not, I'm sorry, guys, I live with a lender. I don't think we're going to see 2s and 3s.
I don't think so either, but
You
I
know.
do think there's a chance that we might get below a 6. But I think it will take longer than... And every single month that's going by where you're paying a mortgage, you're like putting money in your own pocket for down the road. So the sooner you do it, when there's less competition, more flexibility, you have opportunities.
Agreed.
So how can buyers kind of avoid overpaying in a soft market? Because I think in our climate, we're sort of used to like, oh, what if there's another offer? There's going to be a competing offer. You know, I don't want to get outpaid, you know, overpaid by somebody.
Just a few things you can do is you can always add an escalation, and it may come to fruition or not. But again, I am not the type of agent that waives a lot of things. So we're not waiving the appraisal, which means if it doesn't appraise, they're either going to come down or they're not going to buy it. They have a way out. Also, what we do as agents is we analyze the neighborhood of the homes we're going to look at for the week. And if our clients decide on a home, we show them, you know, the CMA of what's been happening the past 30, 60 days in the neighborhood. And they'll put in the offer that's best suited for them. And just know you're either going to get it or we're going to keep looking. As long as people don't get attached to something.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
It's hard not to.
I had to say it anyways.
It's hard not. I always tell my clients, I was like, you're going to get this home under the terms that work for you. Otherwise, if you don't, like, this isn't your house.
That's not your house.
You can't afford it, or you didn't want to buy it because of those things that you found.
And sometimes you're new and you're like, I don't want to pay that. At the end of the day, you're going to pay it, but you don't want to start. At first, people need to learn.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, you're going to get the house you're meant to get.
Yeah.
That's the one you're going to get.
Absolutely.
And you won't even remember the ones you didn't get. And most of the time, people agree with that. Not all the time, but most.
Not all the time. I might
the one that got away.
I might still think of a house that we didn't get.
Yeah.
But then I think, what about that house is
right?
I had no guarantee that house wouldn't have
other issues. That's
how
correct.
could I possibly
grass
know?
is always greener.
Seriously, the grass is always greener. We touched a lot about how this market affects the sellers. We talked about how, I don't know what tangent I'm on. Sorry. We talked about a lot about
all
sellers.
of this stuff, yeah.
Potential spam, okay. Finding opportunity?
I mean, finding opportunities, absolutely. You know, the longer the house is on the market, the more strategically there's ways to get it, you know, whether it's bringing down the price or getting the concessions and doing your own inspection and finding other little morsels.
Yeah. I like to tell my clients, if the home is new on the market this week and it's above your price point, don't go look at it. Don't go look at it till it's been on the market for 2 or 3 weeks, because that seller is not ready to have that conversation yet.
That's right.
And they want the opportunity to make sure that nobody else wants to pay that amount. But once they've been sitting for 3 or 4 weeks, it's seasoned. She's ready. She's ready to kind of reconsider.
And I will caveat that and say maybe longer for condos, longer than 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Condos are sitting longer. I also, I don't know how you feel about this, but I have found that if my clients see a home and it just had a price drop and we're seeing it like the next day, and my clients are like, oh, well, maybe we can offer even less. I say to my clients, actually, that seller probably took a long time to decide they were going to make that drop.
Right.
They've already made a significant drop. They might not be open to you then.
Other thing that we need to look at, ladies, to your points, our buyers and sellers are our clients, but the other agents are our peers. We're going to see them repeatedly. It's a small community. So when somebody just lowers the price on a property, we cannot go in and cut their seller at the knees. Some people won't understand this, but it is disrespectful. So if it's negotiable, we'll talk about it. But if it's something where the buyer is really persistent on just doing that, sometimes I have to walk away from that situation because I know that that's not, once you've insulted the agent and the seller, you're not getting that property anyways.
Well,
It's
and,
not
and
happening.
it's a delicate balance, right? Like you want to make sure that you represent your buyer, but also give them kind of an eyes wide open idea of like.
I try to give them the perspective from the seller and from the listing.
If it was them, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we had a condo on the market, and after 10 days, we had a 50 grand below asking offer, and the agent was just like, "Hey, I'm just doing what my clients want me to do. I hate giving you this offer. Here's the offer." And I was like, "I totally get it. You're doing what your client wants. You had the conversation."
How they brought it to you.
So I was like, "You had the conversation. You told them like, hey, this is not a good offer, but I'm going to do what you want." And I was like, "Thank you, but no thank you." Like we've been on for 10 days. And the agent acknowledged, like, I hate writing these offers because you've got to be sensitive.
And it's just a matter of education. And even with education, you can't make your buyers do something they're not going to listen to.
No.
Sometimes they just need to go through the process of losing a couple times.
That's right.
Especially if they're first-time home buyers, they want to put everything they want to put into that offer at the price they want to put, and then they got to see.
Or I have clients that are like, well, it needs this, this, and this, and I'm like, that's why it's priced at this.
Right.
It's priced for this, this, and this.
Right, they knew that going into it.
That's
they
right.
knew that.
Yeah.
I think another thing is just trying to help your buyers stay on track. I think in a soft market, there's so many options that it can become overwhelming. And that is another way that kind of people spin out, is that they need to see everything before they can make up their mind, even though everything doesn't really meet the parameters of what they're looking for. So just being like very mindful of, hey, I see that you want to go look at this. It's $70,000 over your price range, because I go through like tour exhaustion with some of my clients.
Yeah.
They start to feel like nothing's ever going to work.
Well, because they're overwhelmed.
Yes.
I say it, I don't know about you guys, but 5 a day is enough. And you should take notes.
Yeah.
5, even as a human being, as a listing agent, I mean, as the buying side,
No,
I'm like,
totally
I've seen too many, like, I don't know which one they should pick,
Yeah.
it just swirls.
Yeah.
Nothing sticks.
The only time I've ever had to do more than 5 a day is when I have my out-of-town buyers.
And that's different.
You got to do like 10 a day.
The most I've done is 10, and a lot of them have been gracious. And then there's some of them that, I've had clients that just bought last October. We would come and look at houses for 2.5 years from California. And then one day they said, we're here and we're ready. But they would just see homes, go home, and come back. I mean, that can happen too.
Yeah.
If you don't have to pick right away and you're feeling pressure, let your agent know, and no one's going to make you pick right away.
No.
Just get a plan in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually touched a little bit about how like certain neighborhoods are probably still going to hold their value even in a softer market, and they're not going to stay on as long. That's looking at those really great school districts, super sought after school districts, or neighborhoods where homes don't come on very often.
No, and turnkey ready.
Turnkey ready homes. No one has to do anything else to it. It's ready. Yeah, you can, especially if people are trying to time it out for the school year, you just put your home on the market in that neighborhood, you're fine. You're probably not be falling subject to a softened market. How long do we think these soft markets like typically last? A lot of things come into play here, right? There's economic factors, interest rates, which we have discussed. We aren't going to see them below 6 for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things, again, not throwing it out there that I'm anything special, but just being long-term in the business. When I came in, the market was just about to crash. I didn't know any difference. I just went out and got short sales and helped everybody get out of those things.
You've talked to me about short sales.
Yeah, so this is the deal. The deal is it's going to make this full swing. It's a 7-year thing. And because, just like the house that I'll probably list in a week, they bought it, and they'll be lucky if they even get what they bought it for. Luckily, they have money and it'll all work out. But there are times when, with a short sale, that things, and we can do this another time, that are shortened, and we're going to see some of that. We're going to see some of the homes where people had endless amounts of oodles of money in their pocket. Like a year and a half ago, one of my fellow agents sold one in Bellevue for $1 million over list. Well, I hope they don't have to move.
Yeah.
Right. Right, because
Yeah.
that property value will have gone down
That's right.
significantly.
Yeah, because there's no way it's appreciating at the
No,
rate that they
not that rate.
essentially overpaid for the house.
If you're going to overpay, I tell my clients, I hope
Stay.
you're staying 5 to 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we saw a lot of people in 2020.
Yeah.
Not only did they
That
feel
was
a
my
little
best year. How about you? That was the best year ever.
I'd started in 2022, 2021,
2021
21.
was
21.
gloves up and let's go.
Well, when we entered into the market, 22?
22.
22. When we
22.
entered into the market, we got the same feedback. Oh, you're entering into a tough market because interest rates were gone. The 2.5s were gone. We were entering.
Year that
We were entering into the sixes and fives.
I still wouldn't talk to people like that. It's always a good time to get into real
Well,
estate and help people.
we said we don't know any different.
We don't know any different. And I didn't know any different. The chickens were falling out of the sky.
Yeah, we didn't know any different.
And I ended up my first year with 23 listings.
There you go.
And so
Amazing.
it can be.
Yeah.
It's just a number.
Yeah.
It's what's here, and you're focused on your clients, and it all works out, you know?
Yeah, if it's
Thank God you guys
Still a
have great personality.
It's still a great time to sell and a great time to buy.
Yeah.
It just really depends on your ability to be open to a change of perspective.
That's it.
Absolutely, and there's opportunities to be had on both sides.
And you don't need to listen to the news too much or some of the companies that are writing strange things in the papers. Again, people are always going to buy and sell. They're always going to move in or move out. They're always going to have kids. They're always going to get older and downsize. It's going to happen every year, regardless of the rates, regardless of anything, the finances, the culture. Just be smart about it.
Yeah. Do your numbers, make sure you make a list of what's important to you, and plan to stay there a couple of years at least.
Yeah, and work with a good agent.
Grab a good agent.
Grab a good agent. That's like the moral of all of our
The
episodes.
moral of the story
Grab a good
is
agent.
get a good one. Get yourself a winner,
Yeah.
baby.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, Margaret. We
Yeah.
really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much, you
Yeah,
guys.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.